Hello everybody, this is Ben for the Blue Monday podcast and welcome to another match experience video. It's Tuesday 28th November, it's 3 in the afternoon. I've just left work and I'm off to go and watch Derby County versus Ipswich Town. On Saturday I was at Aston Villa, so feels like only 5 minutes since I've seen a football match, and it's kind of the same direction. I'm not coming from Ipswich, I'm coming from London, so off up the M1 again. I was just going to say I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I always look forward to going to the football, but yeah, I don't have a great deal of hope that Ipswich are going to win this game, although they do have a very, very good record at Derby. There's some weirdness that they haven't lost there in 9 games or something, and in fact I think they've won the last 2 1-0 as well. So normally when those stats are used against you, I say, well, that's meaningless, how can you judge something on what happened last year? But I might cling on to that stat. Ipswich not in a great run of form, but not playing terribly. They're kind of nearly men at the moment, in a run of 5 games in 15 days. This is the 4th of them, so it's nearly over. On Saturday they lost 2-0 at Villa, and they really kind of rolled over and didn't make it hard for Villa to win. It was an easy win for Villa. Prior to that, the midweek Wednesday last week, they played well and had Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 down with 94 minutes played and conspired to draw the game with a Sheffield Wednesday equalised with the last kick. That can always happen when you're a goal ahead, but that win would have made such a difference in this run. And prior to that, another 2-2 draw at Hull. So they haven't actually won now. Before the international break they did sign off with a win against Preston, but they haven't won for, yeah, obviously those 3 games. Derby are on good form. I'm not entirely sure about Rowett. I think he might be a little bit, I don't want to say overrated, but I think he's viewed sympathetically because of how he was replaced by Zola at Birmingham, and I think people perhaps confuse the sympathy they have for him with thinking that he's good. He's quite like Mick, actually. He's a very kind of pragmatic, straightforward sort of teams, and you know, nothing spectacular but hard to play against and grind. Obviously he's got some good players at Derby as well. Speaking of which, a couple of players in particular that just scare the crap out of me tonight. Ipswich Town's best player last year, I know Bart the goalie won the player of the year. Ipswich Town's best player last year was Tom Lawrence. He managed to get 11 goals and 11 assists in a really kind of dismal team. And if it wasn't for him and Bart, if there'd been 2 lesser players in those positions, Ipswich could even have got relegated because they got them through a lot of games last year. Lawrence signed for Derby from Leicester. Obviously he was on loan at Ipswich. Signed for Derby from Leicester in the close season. Well, not in the close season, I think on the deadline day. And he's coming up against us. He's a fantastic player, and I wouldn't begrudge him any goal, but I hope he doesn't score tonight. But peak Ipswich would be him scoring, and even more peak Ipswich. It's come up twice a season for 10 or 12 years. The David Nugent factor, just somehow manages to score against us every time he plays, for every club he plays for, in whatever stadium he's playing in. And I mean, we've talked about it on the podcast, just a kind of above average championship striker against a below average championship team year after year. Really, David Nugent and Norwich City, the two holds those two things have got over Ipswich, really sum up the kind of the 16 years in the championship, and the kind of just hovering and, you know, letting the same people beat up on you over and over again. So I got to the point where I'd kind of rather lose by a couple of goals than see Nugent score again. The other guy obviously is Vidra for Derby, who has 10 goals in 10 games. I was quite surprised when they spent as much as they did on him. And I know he wasn't very good last season, but he's obviously, you know, 10 goals in 10 games is superb form. So, and I think he got a hat-trick on Saturday as well. They won 3-0 at Borough. So anyway, that's all about the game. What I did learn is that the English winter has snapped in. I was bloody freezing at Villa on Saturday, so in my footwell down there, there is a litany of clothes and layers, so we might have a bit of fun later. I'll see how many layers I can put on, because I froze my balls off at Villa on Saturday. It's quite nice at the moment, but obviously I think there comes a point every year where you stop dressing a certain way and start just bunging on for warmth as many layers as possible. So anyway, off up to Derby. I'm literally about to join the M25. It's just up here, M1, M69 to the iPro Stadium. Just one other point. Last time I went to the iPro Stadium, or Pride Park, was the final day of the 2001 season, and would you believe, Ipswich were playing Derby with a chance of getting in the Champions League. They ended up finishing 5th. They drew 1-1 and Liverpool won at Charlton. But we go there today in very different circumstances. I will repeat that the last time I went to this stadium, Ipswich were playing to get into the Champions League. Oh wow, how things have changed and how different things could be. Anyway, I'm on the M25, off to find my Just Park spot in Derby, but that is 2 hours away, so I'm sure we'll have some shenanigans in between now and then. And oh god, the red lights are already up. Yes, we'll keep in touch on the journey. Yes, found my way to Derby, marching through some massive great shopping mall where everything is just closing, trying to find some food. They better keep the blooming restaurants open. Oh my god, I can see a Nando's, but I had Nando's on Saturday. Right, I'm going to investigate more and find some food. Yes. Look at that. I wanted to buy some gloves from Debenhams, and as I walk up, the shutters are literally closing. Cold hands. The decision has been made. I'm going to get so fat doing these videos. Right, the teams are in. Interesting one, purely because of the absence, excuse me, of Joe Garner. Garner's in most people's, if he's fit, Mick's definitely going to play him. So I don't know what's happened. Is he slightly injured? Is he just being rested? Like I say, he's one I thought that would not get a rest. But it's an interesting team. So Bart's in goal. He's gone, unsurprisingly, Iorfa's not around. Well, we've seen the hamstring as well. So Spence, Chambers, Webster, Knudsen across the back, which we thought was kind of the strongest one. Connolly and Skews, I assume, are sitting in midfield. I reckon Selina front left, Hughes front centre, and Ward front right, with Waghorn up on his own. I like the look of those front three behind there. There's no strikers playing in kind of withheld positions there. Other than Connolly, that's pretty much everyone in decent positions. Be very interesting to see though how the ball sticks with, if Waghorn does end up front there, he'll need to be supported. Selina and Ward will need to get close to him, and Hughes. So it'll be interesting to see whether the ball sticks or not. Obviously the big caveat to all of that is Mick could be going, no, he won't be going 4-4-2, because there's no, it would be Selina up front and there'd be no left winger. So yeah, I'm pretty certain it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. Anyway, 7 o'clock, and I just finished in the shopping centre eating my dinner. I need to go and find my Just Park space and get to the damn ground. So make haste.
There's nowhere to hide. Everyone is right to know that all is right.
It's time, I'm going to say it quietly, that was a brilliant first half by Ipswich. Nicked a goal after like 4 minutes. Connolly headed in from the corner, sat in, and Derby really played to their hands. Huddleston's kind of wandering all over the place, leaving his midfield a man light, and fans are getting frustrated. Couldn't have really been any better for Ipswich, I'll say that now before it goes wrong. One interesting moment as well, Lawrence taking a booking on sort of about half an hour for a dive in the penalty box. There's a lot of pressure on Bart on the goal kicks as well, so let's hope he doesn't bow to that. He's probably going to take a yellow at some point with the fans and all the players getting on him. Be interesting to see what happens in the second half, but very strong showing from Ipswich. Superb 3 points for Ipswich. I have to keep a bit quiet because I'm on my own outside the Derby Stadium, but kind of heroic performance and clean sheet. Now wandering to the car, where I'm going to warm up and have a lovely smiley journey home. Whoop! Wow, I'm buzzing after that. So a highly unexpected win there. When I looked at the 5 games Ipswich were playing, I'm like, well, okay, they might be able to beat Sheffield Wednesday, they might be able to beat Forest in the 2 home games. Get something at Hull maybe. Yeah, probably Villa and Derby going to be difficult, but a really well thought away win there. Connolly scored after 4 minutes from a corner, and Ipswich sat in really well in the first half. They weren't clinging on by any means. There was a period in the second half when, yes, they were clinging on, and Vidra missed a couple of chances and Ledley missed a horrible one at the end that he should have put in. But great win. I thought Mick got his tactics all good. Anyway, the long form review you can find on this channel, so I won't waffle on, because this is the match experience. So straight out of the ground, straight to my just park spot, and I did the long form review, which always delays doing these match review things because you've got to get those ones up really quickly. So I'm quite a way into the journey now. Well, quite a way. I'm 20 miles into the journey. I'm out of Derby and onto the M1. Feeling a lot different than I did on Saturday when we came away from Villa. They do this to you, Ipswich. They, you know, drop down and then do something excellent like that. And, you know, if there was more of these games than there was not necessarily the Villa type game, because I think Villa are going to finish high up, but, you know, 2 points against Sheffield Wednesday and Hull, and then 3 against Derby, you know, it doesn't kind of make any sense. Anyway, I must just apologise for my ridiculous attire. I got really freezing cold at Villa on Saturday, so no word of a lie, I was like, I'm not getting cold tonight. Obviously I had my gloves fiasco where I was going to buy some. That didn't quite work out through some bad organisation, so I will make sure I have gloves in time for Saturday against Forest. But at the game, I've stripped off a couple of layers now. I was wearing underwear, some running leggings, a pair of socks, some jeans, then another pair of socks, a vest top, a t-shirt, this running top, a fleece, no, a hoodie, so I could have something covering there, a fleece, and then a kind of thin coat with another hood and a scarf. So I had options, put it that way. I'm turning into my dear mum, I think. I didn't care when I was younger, just went in an Ipswich shirt, but there you go. Great evening. How long have I got left on the journey? 23:58. Hour and a quarter left, so I'm going to get a podcast on or something, and yeah, enjoy the long straight M1 home. And the worst bit of this match experience is that yeah, I'm getting home at midnight and I'm going to be up at 6 for work in the morning. And 6 hours sleep's alright, but it's the travel that bloody kills you, isn't it? But anyway, I will check in later on now I've done that update. And yeah, happy football fan tonight. Woo. Yes, at home, in bed, been a great away trip. This is the end of my match experience because I'm so bloody tired and I've got to be up in, well, it's nearly half midnight and I've got to be up by 6. So not a lot of sleep, but brilliant work from the Ipswich players tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed my night. Very grateful to them. Great 3 points, and on to Forest on Saturday. We pick up another 3, then all looking rosy again. Absolutely worn out, so sorry for lack of charisma at the moment. Give us a follow on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Give this video a thumbs up and a sub, and let me know what you think in the comments.